Say hi, Lala. Say hi. Say hello, hello, hello. What's up, guys? I am Vicky B, and welcome to What's Up with the Butlers. My husband is currently at work, and I've kind of been feeling bad because I feel like most of the times when I shoot videos, he's either behind the camera or he's gone. So I'm going to make sure that I work harder to actually get him on footage. He is a real person, he's not a ghost. But thank you guys so much for returning back to my channel. I highly encourage you guys to like this video, comment below your thoughts, and subscribe to this channel because we do vlogs, we do fashion videos. Oh my gosh. Yeah, but we do vlogs, we do fashion videos, and now coming to our channel, which is the most important, is our fertility journey, our journey to baby Butler. Lala is being so bad, guys. Go lay down now. Get out my video. Go. I had to kick her out. I am currently in our guest bedroom in our house because I felt like the lighting was best in here, and I still need to get a new tripod, and I just felt like the lighting was best in here and I could get some quiet time and some peace and just really articulate my thoughts with you guys and just be as transparent as possible. So yeah, let's get right into it because I don't want to babble. The first episode of Journey to Baby Butler. There is so much to go through, so much to go over, but I want to try my best to just get through it so this video isn't 2 hours long. So I recently, actually just yesterday, did something that was really scary for myself. My husband, he's just so laid back. He's like, babe, do whatever, I don't care. But I literally, guys, anybody who knows me in person knows that I am a very, very transparent person. I'm not afraid to share what things that are going on, share things that I've overcome. That's just my personality, and that's something that I really love to do because I want to be a light to somebody else. However, one thing that I haven't really been that transparent about is our fertility journey. It was just so sensitive to my husband and I, and we wanted to protect ourselves, you know what I mean? Because it's just such a sensitive topic, and sometimes people have so many suggestions and opinions, and it does more harm than it does good. And one thing I've learned over, the past couple of years is just really being strategic about the people in your life. I've grown to such a healthier state mentally when I categorized who people were in my life, because I used to put everyone under this one hub, this one box, and then I would tell them everything, and it wasn't healthy for me. It wasn't healthy for them, and it always resulted in not the best relationships. And so after recognizing that, when it came to this particular subject, we felt it best to just keep it between us, my parents, my sister, and one of my close friends, because she's actually been through IVF and the whole fertility journey. So she was able to refer us to certain things, walk me through how to do injections. She's been through it. So she fully understood, and I trust her with my life. I still trust her to this day. She's been a part of the entire journey. And that's just how close-knit we kept it. As God brought new people in my life, I was able to know who I could trust with such sensitive information. I have 2 other friends that I shared this with, and then they also played their part of encouraging, being prayerful, and uplifting as well. So my number one tip to you guys is find your circle of people. When it comes to this is not an easy journey. I don't care how people paint this to be. It's not. It's a very painful journey. Your emotions are up and down, and especially as a Christian, it's really important to have a solid few of people that can really be prayerful, uplift you, and keep you up on those days that you want to sink down into depression, and to just kind of go through the whole spill, because we are actually going to be starting, I wouldn't say necessarily over, we'll just say that we're moving forward to a different level of our journey. We have done 3 rounds of IVF. Our first round was back in January of 2021 or 2020. It's these last 2 years is just such a blur. I want to say 2021. Yes. Because yes, it was January 2021, because we started, like, you know, the consultation and the minor medicine and birth control and tracking my ovulation and all that. We started that in 2020, and then we began retrieval and everything in 2021 of January. So that was our first transfer. Anybody who has not been through IVF or does not know what it is, IVF is in vitro fertilization. What it is you go in and you are working with a fertility specialist, and they find the right procedure for you. I guess you could say you have IUI, you have IVF. We had to go the IVF route because it was both of us. In this case, it wasn't just male factor or female factor, it was both of us, unfortunately. I didn't ovulate regularly. There was months that I didn't ovulate at all, and I wasn't producing enough. I think they were saying that the months that I didn't ovulate, I wasn't producing or releasing eggs. And then my husband, he had a low sperm count. And so it was the perfect storm, which is not so perfect. It was both of us, like I said. And so we had to go the IVF route because beforehand we were working with another doctor, an OBG doctor, and he was, you know, giving me some like pills and helping me track my ovulation and stuff like that, and trying to get us pregnant naturally. And it was not happening because we were trying naturally for about 3 years. And then the last 2 years, that's when we switched to medically trying. Beginning IVF was actually exciting for us because we were in a position at this time where it wasn't a huge financial weight on us. God was blessing us, and we both were just in the perfect position to be able to pay for IVF with no stress, no worry, because we both just were on the same page and working hard. And so my second tip is that if you're going to do IVF, you want to make sure that you're financially aware and financially prepared, because they give you like this ideal amount that you're gonna pay, but what they don't tell you is all the little stuff in between, like the blood draws, the ultrasounds, the pills here and there, which it seriously all adds up and you don't realize it. Like, and they just kind of give you like the transfer price, the retrieval price, you know, and there's so much stuff in between. So I highly suggest that when you're going into IVF, 1, have faith. God will provide, so don't let that scare you off. But 2, also use wisdom, because God is a God of wisdom. And so, you know, don't be discouraged, but if you're in a place where you know that you need to like build up more financially, let that be a conversation between you and your spouse so that you guys can create a plan. Because one thing that I really want to say that I really wish someone could have told me is, to be honest, when we first got into IVF, I was so excited and I really thought that was the finish line. It didn't even cross my mind that this is still considered medically trying. It's still trying. Like this, there is no 100% guarantee. And it's kind of common sense, but it still just didn't register mentally, just because in my mind I believe that this was the finish line, this is going to work, I'm going to be pregnant, and our trying journey is done. We did it. However, that was not the case for us. And one thing that I would want to encourage you is that you have to be financially prepared to know, like, if the first round doesn't work or the second round doesn't work, are you ready to keep going and to keep proceeding, with each transfer, each procedure. And however you can pay for them to freeze your embryos, and you can always take like a break and then return back. But that's just something that I want you to keep in mind. Let's jump right back into it. So with the first with the first cycle, they put me on birth control so that they could have control over my cycle for that month, and they kind of just watched me. What they do is you go in, you're taking your birth control so they can watch, and then when it's time for you, once you have your period, they'll tell you to stop taking it so you can have your period, and then they'll track your ovulation. And then you get whatever injections that are meant for you. Everybody takes different injections for their circumstance. At the time for the first, I was taking 3 injections a day, which you shoot them right in your abdomen, and also taking like pills on top of that, because it was really vital that I was ovulating and that my body was preparing the right way, because they look at your uterine lining. They want to make sure that it's thick, and in the IVF world, they say the 3 lines. And so every time you go in for a vaginal ultrasound, they're looking for the 3 lines, and they want to see them clear as day so they can track when to do the transfer from there on out. Unfortunately, I'm sorry, I totally skipped a part. Before you even get to transfer, they're tracking they want you to ovulate, and you're taking these injections so that you can double your egg count, so you can produce more eggs. So your hormones are so high, and you're creating the injections are producing like stronger hormones so you can create more eggs. And I'm sorry, someone just texted me and it threw me off. But yeah, so you're producing more eggs, and then you go in for an egg retrieval, which they retrieve all of your eggs. I will be honest with you. Another thing I wish somebody would have told me is that they tell you to go on bed rest, and in the it's slipping my mind. Recovery from retrieval is brutal. For me, it was. I didn't realize that the recovery would be like painful. Like you literally feel like you had a full-blown surgery. For me, I was excruciatingly constipated after the retrieval. I remember just literally taking so many different kinds of like what do you call it, stool softener and stuff like that, because I was just in so much pain. I'm not even over exaggerating, I could not walk. Like I was in so much pain. My lower back was in so much pain. Your stomach feels so weird, like you feel extremely bloated, and I've never had a C-section before, but I've always heard people say, my sister had a C-section, my mom had a C-section, and they would say, after when you're in recovery of a C-section surgery, that it feels like your insides can fall out. And I know this sounds so weird, and it could have just been me, but after retrieval, it felt like that. Like I felt like when I walked, I literally had to like hold my stomach while I was walking around, because just like walking around with it just hanging, like I don't know, I can't even explain it. And come to find out, the reason why it was so painful for me is because I was diagnosed with OHSS, which was over hyper stimulation syndrome. And what that means is that my hormones and my body reacted so heavily to like the hormones, the injections, the retrieval, that they had to push out my transfer, because usually after retrieval you can do a fresh transfer I think like 1 or 2 weeks right after. However, we had to switch to a frozen transfer because, like I said, I didn't react that well. And to be honest, I think my doctor even knew that I didn't need that much medicine. So they I was supposed to get the transfer in January, but they had to push it to March. So that was kind of like really frustrating, because this whole journey is just like waiting. And so March, towards the middle of March, that's when I had the first transfer. So you go in, and I'll make sure that I insert some videos. But yeah, you go in and you put your cap on, you put your gown on, they put the IVs on you, they draw your blood, and then you go in, and it's really kind of cool because unfortunately all of this was during the pandemic, so I had to do this by myself. Not to mention my husband was not able to go into any of the appointments, the retrieval nor the transfers. But yeah, so you go in, and after they do the IVF and stuff, they pull you to the back, and then you get on the bed. They kind of strap your legs down at the end of the bed, and then they give you anesthesia. No, I'm sorry. The anesthesia is for the retrieval, but you don't get anesthesia for the transfer. So please bear with me. There's like so many memories and so much. It's like hard to, put everything right in order. But anyways, so they turn the screen toward you. They make sure that, they kind of confirm everything with you. This is your birthday, this is your day, and this is how many embryos you want to transfer. My husband and I decided on 2 because we thought we would get the best results transferring 2, because in our mind, worst case scenario is that only 1 implants and at least we have our 1 baby, but it would be beautiful if we had twins. And you literally watch them drop the embryos in your uterus. And it is the most beautiful experience. I cried like a baby the first transfer because it just was it for me. I just in my heart, I was just like, this is it. And it was so beautiful because they're just these tiny little dots, and you just see them just go right, boom, to the spot. So then you're on bed rest for 2 weeks. And then after the 2 weeks, you go in for your blood draw so that they can confirm if the embryos have implants. As you know, the embryos did not implant, and that was extremely and excruciatingly painful and devastating because I'm a planner, guys, and sometimes it just gets me in trouble because I'm like, this is perfect. I got the transfer in March, and I'm going to announce on Mother's Day that we're pregnant, and I just had this whole like vision of how we were gonna announce it, and I was like, I no longer have to go to Mother's Day and just feel, left out or feel sad. Like, it's all over, babe. This is it. And then when we got that news, it was really devastating because it was a lot of money, it was a lot of time, it was a lot of energy, a lot of injections. I was in school at the time. It was tough. It was really, really tough. So after the first one failed, we took a break, and we returned back to like the procedure and stuff like that in July. I just needed a few months of a break because, like I said, that's one thing that I really want to tell you, and I don't want you to hear my story and be discouraged because my journey is not your journey. If you have to go through IVF, you could literally go in and my friend Lily, first transfer worked, boom, she has 2 beautiful twins, lives a beautiful life. So I don't want you to hear me and get anxiety or get discouraged. Like, the same thing's gonna happen. But I just want to be thorough with our journey, because I wish somebody could have been this transparent. You know, I've watched some IVF journeys and they kind of show you just the highlights, but they don't show you like the lows. And I wish that I could have seen that for myself. So